might have to be cut short today. Apparently I'm live, but I don't believe that for a moment. Seem to be having a bit of trouble. Or did the thing not refresh? Okay, yeah, so sorry about that. Internet, well, the internet didn't cut out from what I can tell from my flashing, or not flashing lights. Just decided to drop the connection. So, don't know what's going on there. Might be doing something on the line. So at the moment I'm just trying to stop Ireland from being invaded by the Germans, by sending them some support from Britain. Hopefully we can kick them off this rock. And oh, can't counterattack against that unit. It's going such a strange way. Right, meanwhile, something that I have noticed actually when Germany do attack in this game, they very often attack from here. This is the United Kingdom. Yeah, usually they sort of come up here, take this island, and then attack one way or the other. Just a slightly odd thing with the AI, but no, we're proceeding. Jesus Christ, it's hot in here. we get UK got rid of its heat wave, and then it came back, and we got rid of it again, and now it's back again. It just won't go away, and I'm fed up with this heat. I mean, it's obviously not as bad as that 40-degree day or something, where it was 40 degrees. So I work in an air-conditioned building, and leaving it at 5:30 or whenever it was like, okay, so in the air-conditioned building it was warm, but it wasn't uncomfortable, and there was about, 6 inches, you could feel it about 6 inches from the door where the lovely wall of air conditioning ended and the furnace of the outside began. Jesus Christ, I should note that I used to work in a retail environment, in one of these warehouse sort of DIY type places, and so our air conditioning, well, there were suggestions that we used to have air conditioning at some point in that building, but we certainly didn't have it at that point, not anymore, if they even knew how to turn it on. And the roof was metal, there was no airflow. If that place got hot, if the outside was warm, it would usually be about 5 or 10 degrees hotter inside. Though the opposite was true when it was cold, it was usually 5 or 10 degrees colder than it was outside. Somehow, it was not a comfortable place to work whatsoever. So I'm glad I'm now basking in this wonderful, wonderful world of air conditioning. Obviously not now. I've got the fan on. But right, ground sport. Let's do that. I could have actually spent some air experience on that actually, and that would have fast-tracked it or done it immediately. Could I just do that? Yeah. Okay. It's some kind of research boost. But why is it not working? Spend that. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't seem to be taking it. Interesting. Also, I've got loads of army experience, and I really should spend that on the army. Okay. Because that's basically what's going to... Could I train my paratroopers to have some support? I mean, it's a bit of a weird sort of support if you're supporting... One of the big sort of problems with invasions was that paratroopers got dropped in as infantry, but with no artillery, nothing heavy. British did fix the problem, sort of. They oh god, I can't remember what they were. Covenanters? Were they even the ones that we used? America had a variant as well, sort of a light tank, but in certain situations they weren't very good against German armour. Well, in pretty much every instance they weren't very good against German armour. They were great they would have been great against infantry, where infantry doesn't necessarily have the firepower to take out a light tank, and light tank can provide heavier support that the infantry don't have. But for pretty much every other use, they were awful things. Dropped by glider. And I mean, and when it was nearing the end of the war, I heard that they were desperate for glider pilots, absolutely desperate. But there was a good reason why people weren't exactly signing up. It was a death sentence, pretty much. Oh, it's Norway. That's fine. We like Norway. Oh yeah, they're just keeping an eye on that port. That's fine. We're defending the ports this time, or now anyway. Until I've got large enough production. I've lost a dock. What? Oh, I've been Malta's been bombed, which is down here, isn't it? Isn't that Malta? Yeah, that's Malta. It's sort of defended, but I would love to be able to move up there. How are these guys doing anyway? These guys ready to go? Well, let's deploy them. Hopefully we'll start getting some... Denmark's gone. Jesus, yeah, okay, so Germany is basically that. At some point, they're going to annoy the bear. Yeah, if I can hang on till that happens, then might be in for a chance. Just check on the time. Yeah, okay, so 15 more minutes of this one. And infantry divisions, okay. What can I do with you? Actually, I'm going to keep you in Dublin for now. Just in case they try again. But, oh yeah, we were just about to edit my infantry division. See, what I can do is actually give it an armoured battalion of... that is tempting, giving it some heavy tanks. So especially later on when I get the Churchills, that would make an awful lot of sense. The the idea of having light, medium, and heavy in this game is a little bit of a misnomer. You certainly had your light tanks, things like the Crusader and the Cromwell, that relied more on speed than armor, and you certainly had heavy tanks. I'm going to give it a unit of heavy tanks, and I'm also going to give it another unit of infantry, or two. Which means I now need to start producing tanks. Yep, okay, missing equipment. Yep, we know you want a Vickers heavy tank, which is a bizarre tank in and of itself. We talked about this one before. Essentially, I can't get a picture of it, unfortunately, but essentially, yeah, you had, I think it was 3 turrets on the Vickers, something like that. It was I kind of know why they did it. You know, in sort of there were tanks in World War One which had 4 turrets. They were called they were the female tanks. So you had male tanks and female tanks. Male tanks had 2 single cannon sponsons on the sides, and the female tanks had they would basically be the ones with the machine guns, and some of them had essentially 4 turrets with 2 turrets in each sponson, essentially. And in some cases you actually ended up with tanks with one side with the male turret and one side with the female turret. I would assume just because it's just sort of useful, really, to have in some cases, you know, to have a large gun for dealing with any armor that the enemy have. At that point, the Germans had the A7V, and that was pretty much it. They only built 20 of them, and contrary to popular belief, they were, well, it was one of those things that the Germans built which just was awful. One of those few things that the Germans built which was just terrible and should never have existed. They spent quite a lot of their time upside down. They were not stable craft. But yeah, so you have your one side with your artillery cannon, which can be used, I guess, against bunkers and the like, sort of heavier targets, and then let's get some bombers. Yeah, and then on the other side you have your machine guns for your troops, and then you have all your portholes that the guys with their rifles can shoot out of. Let's get improved infantry equipment. We're going to need it. So yeah, so you know, going back to the Vickers, I can kind of understand where they were coming from. That they have a big gun in a turret, and then they have multiple smaller turrets with machine guns in them. But from a sort of a more practical side of things, and certainly from a more mechanical side of things, it's just adding more things that can go wrong. And that's generally, I think, why the whole multiple turret idea ended. Simply because it's far more trouble than it's worth. Just the sheer engineering that goes into building the thing, and then you've got to maintain it all. You know, it's more moving parts that can potentially jam or get stuck, and you just end up with far more problems than you started with. Resource gain, improved oil processing. Let's beef up my oil, and then we'll get our next fuel refining. I should probably also start. Oh, we've got outdated equipment in production. I like it when this happens because it means I've researched something and I've forgotten about it. Oh yeah, the Hurricanes need to be replaced with the Spitfires. Hurricane, good aircraft in use till the end of the war. You know, I believe they were, yeah, they were wooden fabric. So yeah, really sort of easy and, you know, easy to put together. You could build it pretty much anywhere. You didn't rely on needing things like metal. Well, you didn't need sort of aluminium and the like, which, you know, America did. Right, let's see what else we have. Division speed, division attack, division defense. I'm tempted by the offense. Simply because somewhere I've got an invasion that should be going on one day when they're ready. What do you mean there were no... The game likes to do this and it's kind of irritating. Right, I need to shift click, right click. There we go. Now they're attacking. So 10 transports, they'll hit a van, capture it, I hope. Yep, straight capture. Okay. Now the Italian army is down there. They've got one division nearby, and I'm hoping that I can essentially, I don't want to say split the party, but it's kind of what I'm doing. That actually what I want to do is start pushing through and capturing as much territory as I possibly can. I could potentially do a deal with Spain. If I go into diplomacy, can I deal with Spain? Which would be nationalist Spain, right? Yeah, I think so. They don't really like us very much, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by guaranteeing their independence. You know, basically saying, hey Spain, you know what? You know, we have the rock and it's really useful right now, but we're going to let you have, you know, independence. We're not going to invade you. The ultimate goal being that if I can get them on my side, I can then create that to be a way through, potentially. Missing equipment. What am I missing? Naval bombers. Am I? Oh, yeah, because I stopped making those. Okay. Fine. We're going to meet up there while we take that airfield. And we've got some research down. And I think I should probably do the Bren carrier, actually. That gets them out of the trucks and into the Bren carrier, which was an interesting vehicle. So something that the Bren carrier wasn't, was a half track. It was a full track vehicle with a Bren machine gun fitted to it initially. Later on, it was, God, they put everything on these things. It was used as a troop carrier. They were really easy to drive, and as a result, they were loved by the troops. But yeah, really easy to drive, and yeah, and you could pretty much do whatever you like with them. There was also an engineless variant built, which was designed to be towed, and on it they put this. Essentially, you had a rocket attached to a hose pipe, if you like. It's probably pretty much exactly what they use. It's probably just a rocket duct taped to a hose pipe. And the other end of the hose pipe was on a big reel, and attached to the vehicle, so they didn't just lose it when they fired the rocket. So the idea was, you come across a minefield, and you know it's mined, and the idea was to kind of get a bit of a hole in. So you fired the rocket, and it would trail the hose pipe. I'm just going to pause this. It would trail the hose pipe over the top, and across the. Yeah, I'm going to develop South Africa. Gives us more buildings. Yeah, you trail the hose pipe over, and it lays itself down along the minefield. You then fill the. This is where it gets a little bit awful. You then pump the hose pipe full of nitroglycerin, and nitroglycerin is not the most stable of explosives. To put it mildly, you could take a bottle of the stuff, take it down into a mine, seal it off from the world. No vibrations, no sound, nothing. And one day it might just decide, you know what, I'm just going to explode all by myself. That's nitroglycerin, and it's powerful stuff, and it's awful stuff. And it was used for, like gold mines and the like, when it was first invented. Very powerful explosive. Unfortunately, deadly. So yeah, and so you then detonate the hose pipe, and it takes out a load of mines, and that gives you a bit of a channel for you to get your minesweepers in to look for mines and then defuse them. On the other hand, it would be safe to just send a crab through, which is essentially a tank with a big flail on the front. Yeah, Italy are a little bit irritated with me right now, but hopefully we're gonna, because we've got some Canadians, coming in to help, which is good. That's nice of them. Oh yeah, and now the French. Now I've started something now. I'm taking this back for France. Excellent. So yeah, the Canadians are getting involved. The Free French are getting involved. Excellent. We've started something down there. Hopefully we can start pulling this back under French control. And yes, yeah, war. We've got that going on. Have I got any units that I can potentially deploy? Because I'm a little bit concerned I don't have units out. These guys are waiting for Crusaders. What am I missing? Motorized. Oh god. Motorized, where are you? There you go. And you want to create one of you. Yep, okay. Fine. But at least we've now got more troops. Not that I can do anything with them. They're in the wrong place, really. I don't know if I could send them down to assist with this. In fact, I want them to sit there, really. The defender is winning, excellent. We're winning this. Would help if they started. Well, no, they probably don't want to, just in case these guys attack. In fact, I'm going to move up to get there. Not enough service manpower, damn it. I've got no manpower. Oh. Okay. That's bad. It's like really, that's like the worst thing to to happen at this point. So that would have been a perfect time to get some... okay, if I cancel this... how much of the population am I using? Total manpower. Okay, I'm basically not using the amount of manpower that I actually need. This is a little irritating because it means that I can't get air support down in that. That could have been enough to cause some problems. As soon as I get manpower, I can move some units down here, I think, and help, basically. I don't know if they will... oh, they will. Oh, okay. That changes things a little. They'll be a little undefended. By a little undefended, I mean a lot undefended. But let's move those 12 units down to here. And then attack here. So for a nice two-pronged attack to hopefully sort of get this cubed off a little. But yeah, the invasion's going reasonable actually. Might go on for a little bit longer because I'm actually kind of interested to know quite... I'd like to at least chop this in half, this province in half, if possible. We're getting enough sort of support now that we might actually be able to do something. We've got... they're heading in the wrong direction. I mean, I could try and take an invasion down to Casablanca. But I would love to get this region... oh, it's meant to be this region here. Yes, okay. Italy has claimed Yugoslavia. Fine, we'll deal with you later. I mean, Italy are going to have an awful lot of problems. We're going to have an awful lot of problems. Fall of Hong Kong. There's something that we probably should be a little bit more worried about. Hong Kong are, yeah, currently going through their own problems in the real world at the moment with China, because essentially you have Hong Kong, which has been a part of the West for so long that that actually they're, yeah, it's one of those very tricky situations where they are used to the Western world, Western way of doing things because they were British for quite some time, and Britain finally gave Hong Kong back to the Chinese. Technically, the Hong Kong was technically part of China, and yeah, it didn't go well. At all. But yeah, so they are protesting against Chinese rule at the moment in Hong Kong, and I'm gonna let them get resupplied a little first before sending them into combat. But yeah, 13 of them. We're going to move them down. If I could get Algiers, just do a blitzkrieg attack on Algiers with this unit, and send these guys down to just wherever the attacks are coming from at the moment. I'd love to get some tanks, but I don't have the tanks to spare at the moment. Make sure that that's all fine. One thing that I would quite like from this game is the ability to use my second monitor as a second map that Supreme Commander did. You know, I've got 2 monitors, and actually having that up on the second map would be really useful for when I'm dealing with this macro or micro. It's basically the micromanagement of this. And I would quite like to be able to look after United Kingdom, because I am rather far apart. Right, this is the point where I split my party. Oh, goodness sake. No, what I want to do is I want to select, like, fine, we'll do this one by one. Because if I can get these 4 regions, then I will technically own this section here. Okay. It's just constant. These people are joining. These people are joining. These people are joining. Oh, just send them all in. They really don't want me to take Algiers, but yeah, I'm just attacking with unstoppable force, I think is the term. You know, it's 13 divisions against 2, and I'm surprised that they can hold out for as long as they can. Why have they stopped fighting? No, keep going. We need you to keep pushing. We need to take Algiers. If we can take Algiers, that gets us victory points, I guess. Come on, a little bit further. Oh, we've got research to do. You'll notice that I will immediately go to infantry. Upgrades first. We're in 1940. I'll research that. Come on, push, guys. A little bit further. I think they're suffering from attrition. That pushes down. Let's get more artillery support. It's always good. When I get 150, is it 150? I think it's 150. I get more manpower. And that might give me more manpower. I can't remember. Finally, we got Algiers. Okay, now we just need to hold it. Take these 4 provinces. And infantry is about to come off. We just need 3 more crusaders, isn't it? Yeah. Right, Right, these guys. Right, I'm going to send 1 unit up there, and then the other 7 are going to be going this way. Simply because they will take that. Then they can. Oh, they can't attack because they're already attacking. Just squeeze them. Days, but we are winning. It'd be really nice to get that area, so we'll capture that, and then basically use that as a stepping stone to take over Africa once more, beat them back. We've got an air base. We've got ships. Oh yeah, we have ships that are basically just keeping this area free of other influences. Meanwhile, in England, nothing much is happening. We've got tanks being trained and infantry as well. I know they need to stay there. They're looking after that port. Let's look after Portsmouth. Let's look after Dover. Let's also get the reserve fleet into the North Sea for patrol. And we... Oh yeah, the other thing I was going to check was political power, because down in here we've got limited conscription at the moment. If I boost that to extensive conscription, that will increase training time, because I'm basically starting to, I'm basically just saying, you know what, we're just going to expand. We're not going to take the best. We're just going to take anyone. So it's going to increase training time, but it will mean that I get more workforce. So that when I get to 150, I'll do that. That will boost my manpower, and then I'll be able to start getting aircraft down into Algiers, and let's switch over to this map. Oh, we've got one more province to take, and then we've got it all. I'm also going to try and take this one, because, yeah. Trotsky. Meanwhile, while they're attacking there, I mean, problem is they've got tanks there. Really, what I want is to get air support before I start dealing with tanks. Get some bombers in. Yeah. Because we probably don't have air superiority. No, we've got no air superiority actually. So I need that workforce. I've just got none. They're all going into troops. Okay. Let's try and tip that battle balance. Oh, we've got it, haven't we? We now own this. So this province is now owned by us. So Algiers is now ours. I can't do anything with it because technically it's technically it's France's, but for the moment, we're helping. And I think I might end here. We're actually starting to do reasonably well. And obviously I need to get more manpower because I can't really do anything that's useful other than throwing troops at the problem. But unless there's something that I can do in here. Give refuge to Italian cyclists? No, scientists. No, right, okay. I think I'm going to end here. It's a good sort of point to stop. I'll accelerate till we get an autosave as usual. I will do that now until I just get an autosave point. And then, there we go. Right. So with that, I will say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.